And we're live now. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We're at second week, episode 2 of our show here. Very exciting. And today we're going to talk about our own little story and journey and what we've learned being sort of, we call it an underdog. What are the good things about being an underdog, what we've learned. And if you're one of those people, then hopefully there's something that you can take away today that you can learn from my experience. So again, I'm Zane, and I've got Dan here as well. So Dan, you ready? Shall we just jump straight into it?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I want to show my appreciation to all the people who are watching this live, because I know it's Champions League Champions League tonight. So if someone chose us above Champions League game, then it's a huge recognition for us, and we are very grateful, and we will give our best to you tonight.
Amazing. Oh, is it Champions League tonight, actually?
Yeah, it's it's a rematch of Barcelona Paris Saint-Germain, so very exciting game.
Oh God, yeah, that must be super exciting then. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's jump into it. So we're going to first talk about our little underdog story, because I think if you listen to the last episode, we talk about how we met, which is basically in a company that we work for in the UK. And actually, interesting enough, both of us are not from the UK. We actually come from somewhere else. So Dan, do you want to give people who are listening a bit of background as to, where you were from? How did you end up being in the UK, and just a bit of background about you and your journey?
Okay, so for those who don't know, I'm from Poland, and actually not from a big city like Warsaw or Gdańsk, Poznań, or Krakow. I'm from rather small city like 100,000 inhabitants. But still, when I was in middle school, I was able to have this ambition, to have this drive, and then make a commitment, a decision to attend high school in a bigger city, so that I could do the international baccalaureate diploma. And thanks to this commitment in the very early age, then I could go to study in the UK, Lancaster University. I want to say hi to everyone who studied there, and I want to clap my hands for those people, because like studying at Lancaster, it's hell of a ride, because Lancaster, it's amazing university, but really difficult place to live. So I applause all the people who studied in Lancaster. And then 1 year between my second year of uni and the third year of uni, I took like a sort of gap year, placement year, and that's when we met, right? So
Indeed.
me and you, I think we met in a cafeteria, by the way, if I'm not wrong. I think someone else.
No, I first met you in the gym of the office.
Or maybe in the gym.
Yeah.
In the gym.
You know why? Because it's very interesting, because I remember it, because you know how we sometimes can go into the gym over the weekends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember what, like, there's no one in the office or in the office's gym. And then I go in there, and then I wasn't expecting anyone there, I was just expecting myself to enjoy all the facilities. And then I see this dude in there working really hard. And then it was you, but we don't know each other well. And then it was only, like I said, we were in the cafeteria that we started to talk. So sorry to cut you off, but I think it was in the gym when I first saw you.
Another sideline to this story. Who was the other person that I once met at the gym on the weekend? It was the CEO of the company. So,
oh yeah.
One of the time when I went to the gym on the weekend and it was empty, you came in, and the other time I went to the gym and there was like the CEO of our company, and I was like, okay, that's great. But
Yeah.
continuing my story. So then and it was then at the company that we worked for. That's when I realized actually um, that I want to be an entrepreneur. I I knew before that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but then when I went to the university, there was this kind of peer pressure, of working for amazing companies, of earning a lot of money, and I went to the company, and I was like, the money was okay, it wasn't amazing, but of course it was a placement year, so you cannot expect like God knows how much. But still, when I thought about what can I expect after graduating from university, not in money terms, because money is not an issue. For me, it was more of like a job nature. Like, I wanted this freedom. So that's why, during my final year in Lancaster, after I had the list of postgraduate universities that I wanted to apply for, and some of them were like strategy management courses, and other courses were entrepreneurship. And I was pretty indecisive most of the time. I was like, strategy management, because I thought that then I will I had this idea in my mind that I cannot learn entrepreneurship at the university. But then I thought, okay, ideally I would like to finish my university straight after bachelor degree. But there was some pressure from my parents to do my master degree. So I thought to myself that if I have to do my master's degree, after all, I can make it in entrepreneurship. Maybe I will learn uh, just a little bit of it. And it was a great choice. I chose Rotterdam as my master degree university. Great environment, great country, great city, great people. So I want to say hi to everyone from my masters in Rotterdam who is watching this. Um, and after, so still during my masters, I started my company that I'm still running. And it's been 1 year and 5 months since I started this business. It's not easy. I know that I'm sort of underdog. I've been sort of underdog in my studies, because like English was not native to me, and being from Eastern European country, not from Western European country, and now running this business, I'm an underdog, because I'm small in comparison to big agencies. And also I'm underdog in that sense that I decided to this digital marketing business, even though I had very little experience before starting this business. So I took up on very on extremely challenging task. So what's your story? How did you you know how did it end up you going to the UK, and then working for the company where we met, and eventually you starting your own thing, your own hustle?
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Malaysia for the first 18 years of my life. And by the time I finished my high school, my family encouraged me to go overseas for study, obviously because both of them graduated in America, so they see the value in building up, whether it's your independence or whatever, that they just encouraged me to do it. And I thought, okay, you know what, I will do it. At that point, really there were a few choices that I really want to go. It's either Australia or the UK or America. And my decision process is quite simple. When I look at it, I go, Australia was really expensive at the time because of the currency differences. So I was like, Australia's out. And America, there was just too much shooting at that time. And I was like, I don't want to die in America. So I didn't go there. And then that's it. I chose the UK. And the way I chose it was just like, you go to an agency to say, these are my high school scores, which schools could be good for me. They show you different brochures, and I pick a place where it looks very sunny, but it's actually not in the UK. So I went up to Newcastle University. If there are people here who is from Newcastle, they would know that not really a lot of people pronounce it as Newcastle, because that's like a Geordie sort of accent. But it's an amazing experience because everyone up there was like really, really kind, really, really good. Although I did struggle with the English to begin with. Like, you were going to McDonald's thinking that, oh, I would order just a simple burger. You ended up with like a massive extra meal or whatever, just because you kind of understand that everything they asked you just said yes. And then you ended up, with lots of like, I don't know, chips or French fries or whatever. So, and then in my second year of uni, I thought to myself that I don't want to just graduate with a piece of paper. And that's when I knew that there's an opportunity to do a placement, and I really start to just see what opportunities are there, outside of university. And I started applying for jobs. I was just going all in on applying for a job, really trying to see whether I can get myself an opportunity. And it was hard, right? It was hard, just like anything else. It was hard.
Wait, how many job applications did you have to send to
I must send at least 50, 60, at 50, least.
60. Wow. I sent like 20, 30, and I thought that was a lot.
Yeah.
And I only been to like 3 interviews out of those 20, 30. But I got 2 job offers.
That's cool.
The one from where we met,
yeah,
and the other one from a competitor, from another company, from a French car manufacturer. So there was like loads of waving between those two companies. Did you have any job offer on the table, or was
I honestly cannot remember now. That was such a long time ago. But I think the one that I work for even now is the first one I got. And then I was just like, yes, that's it. I'm not going to try anymore because it was so hard. And then I stuck to it, and I'm very glad I did, actually. Because that's where I ended up working even until now. So yeah, I did that. We did a placement, and then obviously that's where we met, as you just said. Graduated, and then I was obviously finishing uni and trying to find a job. Again, I think I must have looked for another 50 or 60, but I eventually went back to work for this company where we did more placement until now. But now, you talk about why did I decide to start like a little hustle, is because I realized that there's more that I can do, and there's more things that I've learned since that I feel like, oh, maybe I can explore that, and obviously it was really hard, right? Because for example, like me, English is not my first language, like you just said. And all these people are hearing us. It's years and years of practice. I remember there are people whom I spoke to when I was working. They would literally say to me, I cannot understand a freaking word you're saying. And I was just like, God, what do you want me to do? So it was really hard. But I think that's what makes you, that's what certainly makes us a bit more resilient and a bit more sort of stronger, I guess. So yeah, I think That's pretty much it.
You know what? Actually, when it comes to English, like the placement year was the year in the UK that taught me a lot about correct pronunciation of English words. Uh,
Mm,
and it started in very funny way. It was
mm,
one of the not company gatherings, but like more of department gatherings. And it was my, I don't know, second, third week at the company, and we went on this big gathering. We are having a dinner, and one of these, quite high positioned manager, he started making fun of my, of my pronunciation. And I
right.
I felt quite bad about it. And that's when I started making effort with with learning correct pronunciation. I started being more sensitive in terms of
Mm,
uh, listening to how English people are pronouncing certain words.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
that's and that's what really elevated my English at that time.
mm,
But I wanted to also ask you one more thing about applying for placement for jobs. Uh, did you also have problems with some, this? So when you apply for placements or graduate jobs, that in some companies you have this online tests for like numeric tests for like um, s- like language
reasoning, verbal reasoning.
reasoning, like sometimes reasoning and trying to understand like a tone of the sentence based on what's written. It was so hard for me for non-English speaker.
Yeah.
And to some extent you have to say that it's of course they want people who know very good English for the job,
Mm,
but at the same time uh, it was putting us in disadvantage, right?
mm. Exactly. I think exactly that's it. I certainly find it was really hard to begin with. It was like it's really hard. It's really really hard. But I think that's what those things became the sort of the ingredient for growth for us. Because we didn't give up. We actually thought that there must be something that we can do to survive this through. And yeah, it's very. I think when you look at it in hindsight, it was very rewarding in the sense that it actually made us who we are. So if we sort of just follow along, I know one of the things we also want to talk about is actually when we look at our journey. You spent 4 years, is it, in the UK? Am I right? Is it 4 years?
Yes, 4 years, 3 years in
Yeah.
Lancaster and one year in Epsom.
Yeah, so I spent now probably coming up to 7 years. So there are lots of sort of like learnings that we have been through. Coming from we call it the east to the west, and we want to talk about this anyway. And I just thought, what are your like your top, I don't know, one, two, or three sort of biggest learnings when you look at hindsight? You go, had it not been for this experience of being abroad, you would not have learned.
uh I have one big learning that I'm very grateful for.
Good.
uh it's like coming to the West really changed my point of view when it comes to someone being different, someone being of different ethnicity, someone being different when it comes to their sexuality. Because the problem was that uh, my family city where I was brought up, it's it's not the same mentality as people in the West,
Mm.
So
Mm.
I have to admit that I had this ugly mentality when I came to the UK. I had this really ugly mentality of not really respecting some people who are of different ethnicity, race, and maybe race not so much. I've learned great tolerance for people of different race in high school, because one of my best friends is Indian. But the biggest step for me was people of different sexuality, and people even of dressing up differently or something like that. I've seen a lot of instances like that
Mm.
at my university, and at first it was shocking to me, but after some time I understood the fault in my thinking, and I just you know I just told myself, like, let them be, like, they are they are not doing any harm to you by just being different. And also, in some way I'm also different. I have very often I have unpopular opinions, I have crazy ideas, and and I like people uh, and I like people to respect the fact that I'm different in my crazy way of thinking, right? So at the same time, if I want people to respect my me being different, then I have to respect other people being different, right? So
Yeah.
I guess that's the biggest. This is one very key learning for me. And what was key learning for you? What was like a maybe life changing moment, even just like with myself?
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting lesson, or learnings, or you call it, which is I have to do every single fucking shit myself, every single one. Like when you're at home, you have got, like when you have problems, you have parents who might be able to help you out. You might have friends who are nearby you. But when I came here, not that I don't have friends, obviously I do have friends, but it's like even little things like, going to, I don't know, post office to do some stuff. You have to sort your washing out, do your own cooking, work out what you're going to eat later. And also you're given lots of freedom, right? Like no one is there to tell you what to do anymore, and you have to decide for yourself, like, what am I going to do next? And I think the biggest learning, I think it's that sort of independency of myself, but also it's around really taking accountability and control for my own self. It's like it's just me now. It's me and me. I'm very grateful and I'm very lucky because obviously I don't have to worry too much about my day to day, basic living needs, that sort of things, which I'm extremely, extremely grateful for. Um, but also that does mean that when I was given that privilege, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to waste it, or actually the way that I sort of see it was, how am I going to make the most out of that? So I guess my biggest learning was, how do I start to take charge of myself and my future development? And I think, put it quite simply, it's like, how are you going to become an adult from here? It's like you need to grow up now.
But did you also have this feeling like, okay, coming on your own from far away from home,
Mm,
no friends, like, of course you will have new friends, but no old friends from home, no family, right?
mm,
uh, I had this quite long process, but eventually successful process of starting liking the company of my own, so feeling good alone. The like it's very often problem with people that they rarely feel good alone, right? They always need a company, they always need someone to hang out with, etc., etc. And when I went to the university, at first it was very difficult to, like, days when I was alone or something like that. But eventually I have learned that it's good for me. It to some extent it also helped me to build healthy relationship with my girlfriend now.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Was it also the same with you? Like, I know that to some extent, I guess right now you still have probably quite a lot of days when you are alone, and you just with yourself. And how does it change your perception of yourself? And do you like yourself? Oh, that's the question.
No, that's such a good observation, man. Such a good observation, because I definitely feel like that as well. It was just like, when you're at home, you've got lots of friends to you hang out with, you go out with, and every day would be like, okay, I'll do this. You will have colleagues, and then when you finish work, you might have your family, you might have your whatever. You always have something around you, and you don't have so much time for yourself. But you're right, actually. When I'm left home, and there are lots of times where you have to be on your own. I don't know, whether it's eating, whether it's whatever, and then you have to start to find things to do, and you really start to really like deep down inside you to understand, like, what do I really want to do now? It's really hard, like people can still say, oh yeah, just watch Netflix, just watch something, just do this, but it's really not, because when you sit down and watch Netflix for 4 days in a row, you really think to yourself, what am I going to do next? So I think you're right. For example, like for me, that was a breakthrough for me, actually, which is when I really sat down and go, is this all there is? And that was when I started to come across like coaching, and then realizing that, oh wow, this is all about like human behaviors and stuff and mindset. And I was like, I actually learned all those things when I was really young, but I never thought it can become a career. So that was when I started to like explore those things as an industry, and really start to just explore some further possibilities that wouldn't have been possible if I had a lot of noise around me, etc. And I'm sure that you also spend a lot of time on yourself, trying to just learn a bit more about what am I passionate about. That's what potentially make you become who you are today, right? Pursuing your entrepreneurial journey. So did you get that sort of insight when you spend time with yourself? Is that where you get that insight from?
I guess there were many things that I was, thinking over when I was just, on my own. And I guess, one of the things, one of the thoughts that I have at the time when I was working for the company that used to work for, was that I'm really liking this job, but at the same time, I find so many things that just annoy me, that I cannot stay in this company. That I just that once my placement finishes, I need to move on to another thing. I need to chase my goals. I need to just find a different path for myself, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's also a lot of I think by spending a lot of time with ourselves, we get a lot of time to do self-reflection, which is what most people don't get to do nowadays. Which is we just sort of like carry on in life, right? Like you go to work, you wake up 9 to 5, and when you finish, you carry on with, like, I don't know, looking after your kids, start to do dinner, you go out, you buy things, and it's when it becomes like a routine and it just keeps on cycling, we don't really take the time to reflect and think, put things back into context. I think that's where I'm coming from. So for example, like when I spend time with myself, then I'll be thinking like, what, like, is this actually what I want to do? Am I making the most out of it? What can I do next? That's when you start to ask yourself those questions and to really start to dig a bit deeper and get those answers out. So I think what you really touched there was around like self-reflection. You start to observe what you like, you observe what you don't like, and you start to maybe solve, I think, can I do something about it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was that was very very exciting. That's very interesting. Yeah. So, okay, I think we're coming out to half an hour, but I know that before we start, you had a request. You wanted to talk about something very unique and special, which we will talk about.
So we are talking about being underdogs, right? And at the same time, like the overarching topic for our broadcast is entrepreneurship, and I just want to say that the real underdogs of entrepreneurship right now are women who were celebrating their day on Monday. And I just wanted to say one thing, that we should have more. There should be more CEOs, leaders, co-founders, founders who are females. I think that women have so many great qualities that will make them really good entrepreneurs and leaders. I really enjoy, like from my past experience, I can even say that to some extent, like there are some instances, like of course you should look on each person separately, but there was some tendency that my partnerships, collaborations with women worked better than with men. So I just wanted to say that it would be amazing to see more and more female entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, that's very cool. I have to admit, when you first said that you want to talk something about this, I was thinking, oh, but we're both male. Like, how is this message going to land? But I think, yeah, I'm quite glad that you mentioned it. Because I also think to myself, like, I know that we are talking about like entrepreneurship and sort of hustling. For me, it's like working hard for what you believe to be true. And actually, when we think about like women, I think I am inspired by a lot of women leaders that I see in the company that I work in.
And
I
remember your when we met, your manager, your manager
she's
was
a woman,
right?
yeah, and I learned so much from her.
Amazing person. Like I remember her because I think I even met her before I met you.
Oh,
So
really?
so yeah, really really nice person, really 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 great leader, right?
Exactly. And you know what, now that I think back about it, like so when I first started, my manager was a woman, and then the role that I went back to do after I finished graduating, there was a period of time where I also report into a female senior manager who I really enjoy working with, and now I also got a female senior manager in my team. And you know what, the thing is, I also think about it, right? Like, obviously, I'm not obviously in an ideal world, everything would be meritocracy. Everything is based on merit. Doesn't matter what your gender is. But the truth is, there's just this male female slight sort of imbalance thing. And I think the fact that women are fighting so hard for a not an equal opportunity, but just to be viewed as the same or given the same opportunities as men, I think is such a strength in itself, because they have to fight through so much traditional views of what women ought to do, like stay at home, look after the kids. But times have changed. I think times have moved on, and I actually think that women display sometimes a lot more strength and courage in themselves than men do. I feel like women have this sort of innate empathy side of them, a mom side of them, but when that energy is being directed in the right way in business, and that has some really powerful impact, I think. So I actually learned a lot from my all of the women leaders that I see in my company. So I'm actually very glad that you brought this up, because it's very great. And also, by the time we are recording this, it's actually just 2 days after International Women's Day. That's why we decided to bring this up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, well, times go very quickly. We're now already 35 minutes in. Any sort of parting words you want to say about being an underdog, Dan, that you want to finish off with?
It's great for building your character, I guess. If you let's say you have two people who came to the same level, at some point in time, and this one person started from, let's say, lower base than the other one, right? I guess because you were we were underdogs, and we had to make some extra effort to get to the place where some other people made it to. And then I guess it had great influence on our characters, and it will definitely generate even more positive results in the long term.
No, that's very amazing. For me, I think it's really just I think one thing that really, when I look back and I never thought it was possible, was that if you can see someone do it, you can do it as well. And I think that was so true, because when I was sitting down, I remember like when I was in uni, I was sitting down there, like I see some Asian people getting a job in the UK, and I was at a point where I get so much rejection that I just thought, what, I'm not gonna get it. So I was really like down, give myself a hard time, and obviously now I made it, and I think it was just a faith and a belief that, let's just keep showing up, let's just keep doing it. At least if I didn't get it, I know that I've tried. So for me, I think it's about having faith in what you are pursuing for, believe in yourself, and just do that next step one at a time, and just keep doing it, because I don't think me or you would be here if we hadn't had done that. Just focus on the next step. So cool. I think we covered pretty much everything then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, all right, everyone. Just want to say thank you for being here with us. We hope that you managed to take away something today. As always, we're just starting out. Things are not perfect. We're still trying to learn. We're still improving ourselves. But if you really like the content, please, we're streaming on YouTube now, but we're going to extract it and we're going to do a podcast. So please hit that subscribe button or drop a like. I know everyone talks about it, but apparently it does help with the algorithms. Dan, you're in social media, all this inside and out. So please, it would be really much appreciated if you could do that. And also, if you're on YouTube watching, in the description there is a landing page where you can go in and just put your email addresses. It's nothing. We're not going to send you like tons and tons of emails that you would not read, but we're just there to remind you what the next topic is going to be. And if you're willing to, then come on and join us. Leave a comment in YouTube. I know we want to get some interaction going, because we want to know where you are, and we want to interact with people, trying to get more people who are like us, who are like-minded, so that we can all grow together as a community and as a group. So yeah, if you could show us some support and let us, help you as well, and let you help us, I think that's how people in our generation needs to grow together and be together. So, right, I think we shall leave it there then, Dan.
Yes. So,
cool.
So for for this week, and please join us next week for another exciting topic.
Exactly. And if you have got any ideas of what topic you'd like us to cover as well, you can just go to the landing page and just let us know. Drop us an email, and we'll be more than happy to prepare something about that. So, all right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. See you in the next week's episode, and take care in the meantime.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
See you all. Goodbye.